Hello friends. The topic for today's video lecture is milk and milk products. Milk is one food for which there seems to be no adequate substitute and is known to be rich in almost all the vital nutrients required for our body's growth and development. आज हम दूध एवं दूध से बने उत्पादों के बारे में चर्चा करेंगे। दूध को संपूर्ण पोषण के रूप में माना जाता है। इसमें प्राकृतिक रूप से सभी पोषक तत्व अच्छी मात्रा में मौजूद होते हैं जो हमारे शरीर के विकास के लिए अत्यंत आवश्यक है। तो आइए शुरू करते हैं।
Let us first start with understanding the composition of milk. सबसे पहले हम दूध की संरचना को समझेंगे। All mammals produce milk after the birth of young ones, and man uses milk of many animals as his food. Cow is the most important of all these animals as supplier of food. Buffalo and goat milk is also used. When talking about the composition of milk, milk is a complex mixture of lipids, carbohydrates, proteins, and many other organic compounds dispersed in water. The most variable component of milk is fat, which is followed by protein. The composition of milk varies with species, breed, diet, lactational period, interval between milking. There is individual variation also. When talking about composition, the first component which we are going to discuss is fat, yani vasa. Buffalo milk contains the maximum amount of fat, which is 6.5%, followed by cow's milk, which contains 4.1%. Milk fat or butter fat is of great economical and nutritive value. The flavor of milk is also due to presence of milk fat. Milk is a true emulsion of oil in water. Talking about the saturated fatty acid content, it is about 62% and unsaturated fatty acid content accounts for 37%. Milk fat absorbs volatile odor very readily. Milk, butter, and cream therefore should not be exposed to strong odors. The next important component is milk protein. Milk protein is basically composed of two main proteins, namely casein and whey proteins. जब हम मिल्क प्रोटीन की बात करते हैं तो दूध के अंदर दो मेन टाइप के प्रोटीन प्रेजेंट होते हैं। पहला है केसीन और दूसरा है वे प्रोटीन। केसीन फॉर्म्स 80% of the total milk protein, whereas the rest 20% is formed by whey proteins. Casein is precipitated on acidification of milk to a pH level of 4.6 at 20 degrees Celsius. The remaining is whey protein, which mainly contains lactoglobulin and lactoalbumin. Milk protein also contains proteoses, peptones, and milk enzymes. Casein is also classified as a phosphoprotein. This is mainly due to presence of phosphoric acid molecule in its structure. Casein can also be separated from milk by the addition of rennin, an enzyme secreted by young calves. The next important protein is whey proteins. Whey proteins, as discussed, are mainly made up of lactalbumin and lactoglobulin, and these, unlike casein, are not precipitated by acid or rennin, though they can be coagulated by heat. Whey protein can easily be given to people who suffer from lactose intolerance, as they are not attached to lactose in their structure.
The next important component of milk which we are going to discuss is carbohydrate. Milk contains 4 to 5% carbohydrate and the chief carbohydrate present in milk is lactose, which is a disaccharide formed by monosaccharides glucose and galactose. When milk is heated, lactose reacts with protein and develops a brown color. The development of brown color is due to non-enzymatic browning. It is also called as Maillard reaction. जब हम दूध के कार्बोहाइड्रेट कंटेंट की बात करते हैं तो मेन कार्बोहाइड्रेट जो दूध में पाया जाता है उसका नाम है लैक्टोज, जो ग्लूकोज और गैलेक्टोज को मिलाकर बनता है, इसलिए हम उसे एक डाइसैकेराइड भी कहते हैं। जब हम दूध को उबालते हैं तो दूध के अंदर पाया जाता लैक्टोज उसके प्रोटीन के साथ रिएक्ट करता है और एक ब्राउन कलर पैदा करता है, जिसको हम मिलार्ड रिएक्शन भी कहते हैं। The next important component is minerals यानी कि खनिज लवण। The main minerals present are sodium, potassium, calcium and magnesium. Copper and iron are also important. In addition to this, milk contains trace elements like zinc, aluminium, molybdenum and iodine. The next component is enzymes. The enzymes found in milk can originate from the mammary glands of the animal or may be released by contaminating bacteria. The most important enzyme found in milk is alkaline phosphatase. It basically exists as a lipoprotein. This enzyme is extremely important because it is inactivated by normal pasteurization process, which we are going to discuss in the coming slides, and its activity is tested to determine the effectiveness of pasteurization. Now, when talking about the color, flavor and aroma of milk, white color of milk is caused by the reflection of light by colloidal dispersed casein, calcium and phosphorus. Yellowish color of milk is due to presence of carotene and riboflavin. Milk is slightly sweet because of its lactose content. The slight aroma of fresh milk is produced by a number of low molecular weight compounds such as acetone, acetaldehyde, and short chain fatty acids. Boiling changes the flavor of fresh milk more than pasteurization. When talking about off flavors in milk, it may be produced by the health of the cow or the feeds that are consumed by the cow, the action of bacteria, chemical changes occurring in the milk, and the absorption of foreign flavors after the milk is drawn and stored. Off flavors are sometimes also produced when milk is exposed to light for a prolonged period of time. Now let us discuss the nutritive value of milk. आइए अब दूध के पोषण मूल्य को समझते हैं. Milk has good quality protein and the biological value of milk protein is over 90. Though milk contains only 3 to 4% protein, but due to the quality of protein and the amount that can be ingested, the presence of other nutrients makes it indispensable. Lysine is one of the essential amino acids which is fairly lacking in cereals is found in abundance in milk proteins. Milk is the only substance that contains lactose, which has galactose, which is essential for synthesis of myelin sheath. Milk sugar, due to its controlled glycemic effect, is a preferred source of carbohydrate. The fat of milk is very easily digestible by the human body. It contains essential fatty acids such as linoleic, linolenic and arachidonic acid in good percentage. Skim milk does not contain any fat. Buffalo milk contains the highest amount of fat. Dairy foods are a major source of calcium because of the significant amount of mineral present. The calcium phosphorus ratio is 1.2:1 in milk and it is regarded as most favorable for bone development. In addition, Dairy products contains other nutrients such as vitamin D and lactose which favor calcium absorption in human body. The calcium requirement cannot be met easily without taking milk. When talking about the iron content, milk is a poor source of iron. But whatever little iron is present, it is utilized by the body. Milk is also an important dietary source of preformed vitamin A. Thiamine occurs in fair concentration, but the main B vitamin which is present in good amount is riboflavin. Though riboflavin is sensitive to light and when milk is exposed to sunlight, 50% of the riboflavin is lost. Milk is not a good source of niacin and is a very poor source of vitamin C. The amount of vitamin A and D depends on the feed of the animal. अगर हम दूध के पोषण मूल्य को समझें तो दूध के अंदर वो सभी पोषण पदार्थ मौजूद हैं जो हमारे शरीर के विकास के लिए अत्यंत आवश्यक हैं, जैसे कि मिल्क प्रोटीन, कैल्शियम और विटामिन डी, आयरन और बी विटामिन्स। इसलिए ये बहुत आवश्यक है कि हम अपने रोज़ के खाने में अच्छी मात्रा में मिल्क को ग्रहण करें। The next topic which we are going to discuss is physical properties of milk. आइए अब दूध के भौतिक गुणों को समझें। Physically, milk is a dilute emulsion, colloidal dispersion and a true solution. The first property is acidity. Fresh milk has a pH of about 6.5 to 6.7 at 25 degrees Celsius. As milk stands exposed to air, its acidity decreases slightly because of the loss of carbon dioxide. Raw milk, which normally contains some lactic acid producing bacteria, gradually increases the acidity on storage. The next property is viscosity. Factors affecting viscosity of milk are state and concentration of the protein and fat, temperature of milk, age of milk. Conditions and treatments that affect the stability of casein are also very important when determining the viscosity of milk. Homogenization and aging processes also increases the viscosity and thickness of milk. The next property is freezing point. Freezing point of milk is minus 0.55 degrees Celsius. Addition of 1% of water to milk decreases freezing point by minus 0.0055 degrees Celsius. The last property is boiling point of milk. Milk boils at 100.2 degrees Celsius, at which temperature all the organisms are destroyed. The loss of nutritive value of boiled milk is more than compensated by avoidance of milk-borne diseases. Hence, it is very important to boil the milk before consume. Now we are going to talk about effect of heat on milk. The first component which we are going to discuss is protein. On heating, lactalbumin and lactoglobulin becomes insoluble or precipitated. Lactalbumin, which is an important part of whey proteins, begins to coagulate at a temperature of 66 degrees Celsius. The amount of coagulum increases with increase in temperature and time of heating. जैसे जैसे हम दूध को ज़्यादा उबालते जाएंगे, ज़्यादा दूध कोएगुलेट होता चला जाएगा. The coagulum that forms appears as small particles rather than a firm mass and collects on the bottom of the pan in which milk is heated. जब हम दूध को काफ़ी ज़्यादा उबाल देते हैं तो जो वे प्रोटीन कोएगुलेट होता है वो बर्तन के तले पे इकट्ठा हो जाता है, ना कि उसके ऊपरी भाग पर. The protein found in largest amount in milk, that is casein, does not coagulate at usual temperatures and times used in food preparation. The coagulation of milk protein by heat is accelerated by an increase in acidity. अगर हम दूध को उबालते टाइम उसमें खटाई डाल देंगे तो वो जल्द से जल्द फट जाएगा, फटने की जो स्पीड है वो और भी अधिक हो जाएगी. It is also influenced by the kind and concentration of salts present. The reaction of salts and tannins on coagulation of casein is enhanced by heat. The next component which we are going to discuss is fat. The layer of fat that may form on milk that has been boiled results from breaking of the film of protein that surrounds the fat globules in unheated milk. The breaking of films of emulsifying agents permits the coalescence of fat globules. जब हम दूध को उबालते हैं तो दूध के ऊपरी भाग पर एक परत बन जाती है जो कि प्रोटीन के स्ट्रक्चर के टूटने के नतीजे की वजह से होती है. The next we are going to discuss is sugar and protein mixture. Non-enzymatic browning of Maillard type reaction occurs in evaporated milk. Maillard was the first to describe development of brown color in mixtures containing amino acid and sugars. Steps involved in Maillard reaction are: first, there is a condensation of sugars along with the amino groups of proteins. After this, rearrangement and dehydration of these products occur. After further dehydration, polymerization to brown pigments can be seen. The rate of browning increases rapidly with rise in temperature. भूरे रंग के पदार्थ जो दिखाई देने लगते हैं जब हम दूध को बहुत ज़्यादा उबाल लेते हैं वो और भी ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएंगे जब हम उबालने का टेम्परेचर बढ़ाते चले जाएंगे. The color development also increases with increase in pH above 6.8. Now we are going to talk about the mineral content. What is the effect of heat on the mineral content of milk? The main effect which is seen is on the iodine content. Iodine is a volatile substance and when heated tends to be lost from milk. Continuing with studying the milk cookery or effect of heat on milk components, the next factor which we are going to discuss is the effect of heat on color, flavor and digestibility of milk. So when we talk about these factors, neither the flavor nor the general appearance of milk is appreciably changed by pasteurization or heating. Heated milk tends to form smaller and more tender curds in stomach compared to raw milk and hence it is comparatively more digestible to unheated milk. Next we are going to talk about presence of microorganisms. So when milk is heated, destruction of microorganism takes place at higher temperature, hence it is very useful. The next is scum formation. Scum is formed when milk is heated in uncovered pan on the surface due to drying out. Scum gets toughened as temperature is increased. The insoluble scum can be removed from the surface but another one forms. Scum formation can be prevented by covering the pan or by diluting the milk by addition of water. The last effect of cookery or heat on milk which we are going to discuss is scorching of milk. Scorching is due in part to the film of coagulated albumin and other whey proteins that collect on bottom and sides of the pan. Non-enzymatic browning may be responsible for the brown color of scorched or burnt milk. Heating milk over hot water like in milk cooker can prevent this. Stirring has also shown to some extent prevention of scorching of milk. Now we are going to talk about processing of milk यानी कि दूध का प्रसंस्करण. Processing helps to produce milk that has initial low bacterial count, good flavor and satisfactory keeping qualities. There are three main operations of milk processing which we are going to discuss. First is clarification, then comes pasteurization, and last one is homogenization. First, we are going to talk about clarification. In the process of clarification, milk is passed through a centrifugal clarifier, which you can see in the image given in the slide. The speed is adjusted in such a way that cream is not separated, but dirt, filth, and cells from the udder of the animal and some bacteria are removed. Clarified milk is now ready for process of pasteurization. Once the process of clarification has been done, the process of pasteurization is started. Now, talking about pasteurization, this term derives its name from the French scientist Louis Pasteur, who found that heating of certain liquids such as milk to high temperature improved their keeping quality. In general terms, it is the heating of milk to a temperature which destroys organisms responsible for tuberculosis, fever, and nearly all the other microorganisms present in the product without seriously affecting the composition or properties of the product. Pasteurization should be followed by immediate cooling of the product to temperature sufficiently low to check the growth of microorganisms which are resistant to temperature used. पैस्चराइजेशन वो तकनीक है जिसमें हम दूध को एक नियमित टेम्परेचर या तापमान तक उबालते हैं जिससे उसके अंदर मौजूद हानिकारक जीवाणु नष्ट हो जाते हैं और फिर हम उसे इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, उसको अच्छे से रख सकते हैं और वो हमारी सेहत को किसी भी प्रकार का नुकसान नहीं पहुंचाते हैं और हमें ट्यूबरकुलोसिस और अन्य प्रकार के खतरनाक बुखार जैसी बीमारियों से भी बचाते हैं. The three general methods which are used for the process of pasteurization nowadays are: the first method which can be used is holding or bath system. In this method, milk is heated at a temperature of 65 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes followed by rapid cooling. The next method is high temperature short time method. In this, milk is held at 72 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds followed by rapid cooling. And the last one is ultra high temperature system. In this method, milk is held at 93.4 degrees Celsius for 3 seconds followed by rapid cooling. One important enzyme which plays an extremely crucial role in the process of pasteurization is alkaline phosphatase. This enzyme serves as a built-in indicator for the process of pasteurization. This enzyme has heat destruction characteristics and is inactivated if the process of pasteurization is done properly. Due to pasteurization, there is no important change in nutritive value, nor does it produce any objectionable change in the flavor of milk. पैस्चराइजेशन के प्रोसेस करने से दूध के पोषण मूल्य या उसके स्वाद में कोई खास फर्क नहीं दिखाई देता है और उसके अंदर मौजूद सभी खतरनाक हानिकारक जीवाणु भी नष्ट हो जाते हैं और हमारी सेहत के लिए दूध और भी ज़्यादा पौष्टिक हो जाता है. The last process which we are going to discuss in processing of milk is homogenization. The process of making a stable emulsion of milk fat and milk serum by mechanical treatment and rendering the mixture homogeneous is known as homogenization. This is achieved by passing warm milk or cream through a small aperture under high pressure and velocity. Homogenized milk has a creamier structure, bland flavor, and whiter appearance. It has great whitening power when added to coffee and tea. Homogenized milk produces softer curds and hence is known to be easily digested. You can see in the image given in the slide, raw milk has scattered uneven components of milk fat, but when milk is homogenized, the component and structure of milk fat is evenly distributed throughout the milk. In the given slide, you can see few of the many milk products which are used in our daily life, such as toned milk, milk powder, khoa, curd, butter, paneer, ice cream, condensed milk, which is used to make so many wonderful sweet dishes, skim milk, and cheese. All of these have variable fat and protein content, but the main component present in them is milk. Talking about the role of milk and milk products in cookery, milk contributes to the nutritive value of the diet. Milk adds flavor and taste to the product as it is seen in tea and coffee. It is used as a thickening agent along with starch for making white sauce for your pastas. Milk is used in making so many wonderful desserts such as ice creams and puddings. We all love the famous Gajar halwa. Curd or buttermilk is used as a leavening agent and to improve the texture as it is seen in dhokla and making bhaturas. Curd is also used as a marinating agent, for example, in marinating chicken and meat. Curd is used as a souring agent to produce that tangy flavor as it is seen in making rava dosas. Khoya is used as a binding agent in gajar halwa. Cheese is used as a garnishing agent in so many dishes, in salads, in pastas, pizzas, etc. Salted buttermilk is used as a wonderful. As we come to the end of this video lecture, I would like to repeat one of the standard advices which most of the doctors and all our mothers give: have a glass of milk daily. For many, it remains the only source of calcium throughout our day, and efficacy of milk in our daily diet is unmistakable. Milk has been long touted as a complete health drink before the advent of so called nutritionally packed expensive beverages which we see in the markets today. So, if you are not a fan of plain milk, switch to other products like yogurt, paneer, chas, etc. to meet all your nutritional and calcium requirements for daily life. Thank you.